my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Tatum drives down and throws it down. Wow!
The throw, rainbows it down the right side for Kyle Pitts. He's got it. He's there. Touchdown. Oh my!
Oh my D, welcome back everyone to the Sports Bits podcast with Moko here to talk about all things Florida Gators football and Boston Celtics. No more Florida Gators for right now because, spring ball is over and a lot more Celtics stuff happening, especially with the playoffs coming up. So we've been on a 3-week hiatus, so let's just get right into this because we actually missed out on a big big stretch of games. No, like the 6-game win streak that they had, and they beat like some good teams like the Nuggets. They beat the Trailblazers. So like there was a good streak of games that we should have covered, a couple weeks ago, but that didn't really happen. So let's just jump right into it. So what I decided to format the 6-win streak is like just whatever games you want to talk about, like whatever stood out to you. Just we'll talk about it. So actually, I'll talk about some of the notes I had about the 6-win streak, like just in general, because I think it's a good thing to like look at overarching themes. The first thing was that Tatum, Kemba, and Brown were able to play really well together. Like usually, most games you would see like, oh, Brown plays really well, but Tatum has a terrible shooting night and Kemba has a terrible shooting night.
One or the other.
Yeah, or like two of them's good, one of them's bad, etc. But like first reactions of that, like seeing all three of them being simultaneously great, because we've been trashing on.
Yeah, always, of course.
Yeah.
But no, I actually really like seeing them play well together because like I like watching just like Jaylen Brown and Tatum kind of just like meld together, because
it makes it look like the Nets, with Harden, Kyrie, and KD, right?
Not quite that good.
Yeah.
But no, it's nice to like see them play together because also we know that like they have this young talent. And they're not as young anymore, but like when they were up and coming. So it's just nice to see them like actually working well together now because that's what they were supposed to do. So I'm sure you're ecstatic about that.
I am ecstatic for the 6 wins, and then we'll talk about the games after the 6-win streak because that kind of went a downward spiral. But the next thing, because we always talk about this, Payton Pritchard and Rob Williams are shining again as usual. They're making steps to be really good. Not much to say there because we've been talking about them, preaching about him the whole time.
James has always been talking about
James always. He's going to be in the background, so he might shout out a few things every so often. But next thing, Romeo Langford is back. And in the past games that he's been back, he's averaged only like 2 points a game, something like that. Like, I don't know. It's kind of whack, and they're giving him like 20-plus minutes a night. Like, why would you give a rookie, or not a rookie, but like a guy who just came back from injury that many minutes, but also he plays like trash and they haven't adjusted yet? What do you think?
I think Brad Stevens at this point is probably in like not experimentation mode, but like I think
near the playoffs.
Yeah, you're coming near the playoffs, and the Celtics right now are sitting at the 6th seed, 32-30, so just above 500. So I think that he's pretty confident that
the Celtics, you guys are going to get a playoff spot. You guys are going to clinch a playoff spot. So I think that right now he might be trying to like figure new things out because he's gonna you're gonna meet some teams in the playoffs that are gonna give you hell. So I think he's trying to like maybe figure a couple other things out maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know why that is. I wouldn't do it personally.
I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't either. But like, who's the NBA coach?
Yeah, there you go.
He is the coach. So.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's just like, why would you play him? And then also they've been reducing his minutes, so I'm happy about that. Another note I have. Let's just move on from Romeo Langford. There's not much to talk about him other than his crappy shooting. Tatum is also not consistent with his shooting. Speaking of shooting, Tatum has not been consistent. Like you look at the box scores every some odd games. Like he just shoots terrible, even without Brown and Kemba, which sucks because you need some of those guys to pick up the slack when Tatum can't shoot out of games.
But so, I mean, in the last stretch for the 6-game win streak, like you said, Tatum and Brown and Kemba were all playing well together, but everyone was shooting relatively well except for. Which game is this? The Nuggets game? So the Nuggets game was like almost a complete blowout.
Which we'll get into in a little bit. We'll get into it in a little bit because I do have notes on that game. That's actually one game I wanted to talk about. The first game I want to talk about was the Timberwolves because the only note I have on that one is that Tatum is the youngest player to ever score over 50 on the Celtics next to Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm.
He broke Larry Bird's record.
Yeah,
this
I
year.
thought
He's
that
younger.
was
He was
crazy.
younger than Larry Bird when he scored over 50. So that's great to see.
Mm-hmm. And he had a good shooting night as well. He went 16 for 25, 6 from 10 from 3. So it's not like he was
There you
just chucking
go.
up shots.
Yeah.
You know? So when he can shoot well, that's what he can do. You know, it's just a matter of.
Well, let's also note it was against the Timberwolves.
That's also a very fair assessment because we all know about the Timberwolves. But also, I wanted to bring up. So these last couple games, these 3 games that we've been talking about, the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Trailblazers, Tatum has gotten to the line consistently more than he has been for the rest of the season. He got to the line 10 times in the Trailblazers game, right? And he knocked it down 8 for 10 from the charity stripe. And then like the other games, you know, he was 8 for 8 in the Nuggets game, and then he was 15 for 16 in the Timberwolves game. So I think he needs to really just like kind of get into the paint more and, you know, not rely on it, but I think he needs to trust his size.
Yeah,
you know,
I
because
agree.
he's a big dude. Pause. But he's a big dude. So I think that, you know, like he gets to the line more, and I think he's gonna start putting up better numbers because he's obviously a good free throw shooter. You know, he just needs to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that because you know, every time I see him not shoot well, his main play style is just dribble a couple times, shoot a contested 3, and completely brick it. So like
he does do that.
The shots he makes really well, like, you know, good post up, good post moves, driving to the hoop, you know, getting high percentage shots like that. So just like
his fadeaway right at the baseline is automatic every single time.
Yes.
He needs to know his spots on the court
and try to push those.
Yeah, and just really push to those.
Yeah.
You know, because he takes shots from a lot of different areas on the field. But yeah, I think that he needs to find his spots and he needs to really just like lock in on them.
There you go. And speaking of shooting, I want to talk about the Nuggets game. Of course, Jamal Murray was out, so that was the one thing why they didn't play as well. And another thing was the 3-point percentages for each team. The Celtics had a 21% 3-point percentage, and the Nuggets had a 23% 3-point percentage.
No one shot well from 3.
No one shot well, which really stuck out to me. I'm like, we have decently good shooting teams here, and I'm just like, why? Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Porter Jr. went 1 for 12 from 3.
Yeah, I didn't write. I don't know. I didn't write that note, but like I saw that, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Michael Porter should not be shooting that bad.
Seriously, he's a good shooter, you know, so I don't really know where that came from. And then, you know, like Aaron Gordon and Campazzo, Aaron Gordon and Will Barton, they both took 3 threes and made 1 each, so that's 33% on each of them. So obviously it's going to bring the whole average down, but at the same time, no one was knocking them down efficiently except for Campazzo, 3 for 3.
Campazzo, the small man, I think he's the smallest person next to IT in the league right now who's actually good, so I would say that.
I mean, he's like 5'10" or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which is also hilarious, talking about like how bad they were shooting that night. The defensive rating for the Celtics was 95, which is like the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah.
And also that means like their defense was like elite.
Yeah,
like looking at the Bull, like 90, was it like 85 Bulls or 84 Bulls type of elite defense. But that was just weird to see. Anyway, you won't see it on there. It's like the advanced stats, but I mean, no, but it's just weird seeing good defense from the Celtics. That's my point.
It is definitely weird, but also because I don't think we're talking about the Nuggets game, right?
No, we were talking about the Nuggets game.
Yeah. Okay. So Robert Williams was still in, but
yes.
Every time he's in, and Marcus Smart, those two are clearly the defensive centerpieces to the Celtics.
I think they're also like the leader, like defensive leaders.
Of course, absolutely. Marcus Smart more so than Robert Williams, but Robert Williams is kind of just like, you know, paint anchor kind of guy.
Yeah.
Obviously when both of them are playing really good defense, you know, you guys pull out with the dub. So I think that Marcus Smart needs to really pick it up in terms of like being a leader. I think he needs to kind of push the rest of the guys to be better on defense. You know,
which is what he should be doing. I think he does that, but like how maybe he doesn't do it enough for.
Yeah, or maybe they're not listening. You know, like obviously we don't know what's going on in the locker room. But
there you go.
I think that like that's really what they need to do because, you know, like the NBA is like so focused on offense now that I feel like a lot of teams are kind of they're straying away from defense. You know, like we know the Heat this year, obviously, you know, and last year.
Defensive monsters,
and they had success. I mean, last year in the playoffs, whether or not you want to call it, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? A fluke.
Fluke.
That the Heat went to the finals. Whether or not you want to call it that, they still played incredible defense.
They locked down Giannis. They locked down the Celtics. They are Tatum and Brown, I guess.
Exactly.
They did what they can against AD and LeBron, but LeBron's always gonna pull something out of his ass. So
seriously,
it happens.
Yeah, so I think that like teams need to focus more on defense, or at least not completely push it away.
Yeah, I mean the Heat are a big component, or not component, but like a big, what would I say?
Proponent of defense.
Not proponent. It's not a fluke, but like they're like the one enigma of like all the teams in the NBA.
Yeah,
like they focus on defense heavily.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that comes from Eric Spoelstra.
I was gonna say that Eric Spoelstra preaches defense, and he always coaches their guys to play hard defense. And that's the culture down there.
Yeah, he's a great coach as well. So.
I mean, with Jimmy Butler there too, pushing, yelling at those guys probably does help. So
exactly, he's like the perfect piece, I think, to like any team almost. Like you can stick Jimmy Butler in just about any team, and
minus the Timberwolves.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean we saw what happened with the Timberwolves. That wasn't necessarily his fault, but no, I mean you know what I mean. Like he's just a good piece for every team.
That's something I wish we had, because I think that he would scare some of these guys straight on the Celtics and actually get them to play better and more consistent all the time.
Yeah.
But, we don't got that. So we got Marcus Smart,
what you got.
who's
he's a great leader.
Leader,
well.
yeah, great leader, I think. But he's not as vocal, not as like hard as Jimmy Butler is. Mm-hmm. So, it's what it is. But let's move on to the next game. Trailblazers is the biggest game, and I actually watched that game. It's one of the couple games I watched in the 16 win streak. It was really good because the flow of the game actually was that we were in the lead for most of the first half, and like we kept control of the game most of the first half, and then towards the fourth quarter we just started losing it, and that's why the game was so close. It was 116 to 115. 116 to 115 Celtics. We barely won off some lucky defense that happened at the last 5 seconds. So I'm just like, whatever. It pissed me off that we couldn't blow them out because we should have blown them out. So I mean, my first note, it was just an offensive night for both of us, or both of the teams. There was like barely any defense because we have too many offensive powerhouses on each of those teams.
Yeah, you
so
just let them go.
You let them go, yeah. So the next thing, Carmelo looking like Melo. He had 25 points, 10 for 5, 3 for 5 for 3. Yeah. Carmelo looking like Melo, not Carmelo. Straight up, he's absolutely was killing it that game.
Okay, this debate now about who the real Melo is
not a debate.
I don't think it's a debate either, but like people are talking about
every new NBA fan. Hold on.
It.
It's the new NBA fans want to call LaMelo Ball Melo, and then all the NBA fans who are older than
exactly. Like James is shaking his head over that.
Every NBA fan who is older than 17 calls Carmelo Melo. LaMelo should be LaMelo. I think that he should be claiming LaMelo, not calling himself Melo. It's an idiot.
I don't think you can't just come in to the league as a rookie and take Melo. A legend's nickname.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
He hasn't won any chips, but yeah, he's still a legend, impactful player.
Exactly.
He should be a Hall of Famer. He should be a Hall of Famer based on his impact, not on his championships or anything. I think his impact to the game. Huh?
He doesn't have any.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
saying his point. My point being is my argument for him to be in the Hall of Fame is his impact to the game and how good he was on each team, like the Knicks and the Nuggets. How his impact basically. So yeah, I mean that's like my gist about the Melo argument. LaMelo should be claiming LaMelo because there's no other LaMelo in the league.
Exactly, and also LaMelo. It's not like LaMelo's like a
dumb name.
It's not like it's a pretty cool name.
Yeah, don't take Ball. I think Lonzo claimed Ball, so I don't know if you want to claim Ball. Well, I mean, they were both Ball brothers, but
Yeah.
That's the comment
thing. I think it's a little ridiculous that it's even a conversation.
Yeah, well, people are still arguing it. The last thing I got was the shooting, the point spread for the Celtics, at least from the big three. Tatum had 32, Brown had 24, and Kemba had 21. So they all had really good nights. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to see it.
And Kemba has also, at least for the last 3 games that we've been talking about, Kemba's been stepping up on his playmaking.
Yes.
He's been getting consistently like around 7 or 8. I think he had a double-double in the Timberwolves game. I think it was.
He should be. He should be getting a double-double in the Timberwolves. There's no one who should be guarding him. That's good.
Almost a double-double. He had 9 assists.
9.
But the point being is that he obviously, I think, is capable of being that playmaker that the Celtics need, and I think that when he does produce on that end of the floor, it shows up in the box score, and then you get the dub.
100% agree. And I mean that's the last game I wanted to talk about on the 6-game win streak wise. Unless you had another game you wanted to talk about.
Not really, no.
Okay, so cool. Because I wanted to move on to the Nets game if you wanted to talk about that. Because I know we always want to bring up, anytime we have the Suns or the Nets, I want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go straight into that. I got to find what was going to talk about it.
Suns should have won.
No. I mean, it's fair because they were playing like trash. I mean, quick thing about the Suns. Devin Booker fouled out halfway through the fourth. Every time I saw Chris Paul pull for a mid-range, he missed.
Neither team even broke 100.
Broke 100, yeah. So, like, they were just a terrible offensive night. So that's the gist for the Suns game. No one was making their shots, and everyone was just chucking up random shots, hoping they would go in at that rate. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was my gist for the Suns. But for the Nets game, we only lost by 5. I think that's honestly an accomplishment. For how good they're playing.
I agree. Yeah.
For how good they're playing, because I'm not gonna downplay how bad. Like I'm not gonna say the Celtics are bad. I'm not gonna downplay it like that. But like, I want to say that we put up a fight against the Nets.
Yeah, and to be fair, Kevin Durant and James Harden were out.
But you still have Kyrie.
Exactly, we still had Kyrie, and he only scored.
Bruce Brown.
He only scored 15. I say only 15 points, but he scored only 15 points, which is like not like him.
Well,
at
first
all.
of all,
he
look at the guy on the top of your box score
That's
right there.
Joe Jesus. That's my guy. That is my guy. I
Jesus.
love Joe Harris this season. I love what he's doing for the Nets. He's knocked down from 3, automatic every single time. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Also, I'm just going to say this right now for the Nets game. Kemba and Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams were out. So with that in mind, do you think the Celtics could have beat them if Brown and Robert Williams, I'm not going to count Kemba, but if Brown and Williams were in the game for the starting lineup?
I think it's definitely possible. You know, because, like, we look at the score, and, yeah, it's really close, you know? And also, like, we look at rebounding. The Celtics heavily out-rebounded the Nets.
So Robert Williams would have been helpful there.
Absolutely, Robert Williams would have been a great piece there. And I guess KD and James Harden do pick up boards, but, like, I don't think necessarily that. I can't really imagine like another piece that would have helped us out super much.
I think the thing about me is that even
so
for
I
me,
think that it's possible, definitely.
Yeah, for me, like if we could, like example, what if KD was playing that night and we had Jaylen Brown and Rob Williams? I think that'd still be a fair fight.
I think it would be a good match.
It would be a good match to watch. Our two big guys versus your two.
I think what's gonna happen, what it's gonna come down to it is who can stop who, like when it comes to like on the
matchups.
Nets. Yeah, because like the Nets have James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. Those are 3 like massive offensive weapons. You know, I think I've mentioned this a couple times, but like you got to shut down one. You know you're not going to shut down all 3. You know,
and unless you're like the Miami Heat, which are really good defensively, but that's rare.
Exactly. And even like if you put all your effort onto one dude, like someone else is gonna go off. And already
you saw that with Joe Harris on that game.
Exactly, so. Because when they're locking down everybody else, Joe comes to play. But he does, man. I love that guy. But
and Bruce Brown.
Jeff Green as well. I mean, honestly, I'm loving what's going on with the Nets right now.
And you were crapping on their bench.
You were so down on the bench. I was so scared that the bench was going to be crap because I was like, all right, we traded away. I know Torian Prince, Jared Allen.
What are your thoughts on LaMarcus Aldridge retiring?
Oh, like you mean like after playing like 2 games?
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously sucks, but like I mean, he did it for his health, so obviously I can't shit on him for that. Crap on him for that.
I just remember seeing the RDC world. If you ever watch RDC on YouTube, the LeBron reacting to like LaMarcus and Blake got their prize back. What am I supposed to do, Adam Silver? What am I supposed to do? And I was like, that's exactly how I feel. I was like, what?
I mean, even I felt the same way when I saw that we picked up LaMarcus Aldridge. I was like, really?
Really?
Like, do we really need like more?
Yeah. But more old guys.
Yeah, right. But it sucks that he had to retire like that because he was doing some pretty good things, And I was even saying like I think everything I've said on this podcast has become not true.
Yeah.
It's a great picture, James. Thanks for that. But I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, my thing was like he ended his career kind of on a weird note. Like he retired mid-season. Like he didn't retire at the end of the playoffs when the Nets could have like potentially won the finals. He should have retired then.
Well, do you know why he retired exactly?
I know his health, but like I didn't know how serious it was.
He had I don't think it was like a heart murmur. I think he had like
a murmur.
I think he had like an irregular heartbeat during one of the games, and he said it just like scared the hell out of him. And also like he's 36, he has like a wife and kids.
That's
so like
true.
He's trying to not get a heart attack.
That's
that's
true.
why I obviously I think everyone is super
again like
happy
I quote RDC World. Man, I'm 36. How do you keep doing this to me, Adam?
How you gotta keep doing this now?
It's
But I
like-
mean, for real, bro, it seems like so many years, like teams are being built for the sole purpose to take down LeBron James.
Yep. That's what the Nets are building. That's what the Clippers were trying to do with Kawhi and PG, but they didn't even make it to
Yeah, we
beat
all
to
know
the
how that
Lakers. And
happened. We don't know what happened with that.
yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible.
Blew up, dude. That was
But yeah,
crash-
well, we'll see.
crash and
We'll see
burn.
what happens this year. But
See what's about to happen next.
see what happens next. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, not much else to talk about minus that Payne Pritchard had an amazing night. But that's the thing about I realized that Payne Pritchard, once he gets like starting minutes as a six man or in the starting lineup, he does really well.
Mm-hmm.
He does debatably better than Kemba some nights. He was 6 for 7 on the 3-point line.
Yeah, he was automatic 8 for 12.
Automatic, yeah.
The rest of it. So, well, I mean, I think that because watching Peyton Pritchard, I think he needs to like trust himself a lot more.
And he was going against Kyrie, who's not that bad of a defender. Let's be honest here. Kyrie's not that bad.
Yeah, and they're both. I think they're both similar in size. I think I know
Size, yeah.
Kyrie's like 6'3", and I think Peyton Pritchard's like 6'1".
6'1".
Something
He's
like
6'1",
that. Yeah, so
or
they're-
6 foot dead around
So
there.
they're similar in sizes. So it's not like it would have been super difficult for Kyrie to play even mediocre defense on him. But
Yeah.
I think that Peyton Pritchard needs to like trust himself more. He took 7
And
threes
Brad
this game,
Stevens needs to
and he
start
knocked
him.
6. Yeah, I think also that. But yeah, I hate seeing like a lot of these rookies that have clear potential to do really great things, and then they're being like snubbed by their coaches, because it's like, oh, it's a rookie and we have veteran guys that
Yep.
we'd rather play, and which is fair because like if I was a coach, I probably would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I would.
But
you
look
wanna
what we
play
did
it
with
safe.
Robert Williams. That's like what I point to. Like, why don't we play young
Exactly.
guys?
I mean, it's universal. It's not universal, but like around the league, we see like these young guys really step up and play really well.
Now my question
You know?
is it because Kemba's contract? Is there something in there that he has to be in the starting lineup when he's getting paid all this money? That's the thing I'm questioning now at this rate. Is it part of his Kemba's contract that Payne Pritchard can't start or something like that?
I don't know if it's like, I don't know how the contracts work. If it is written in the contract that
That's
he has to start, that'd
dumb.
be kind of weird.
That's
yeah, that
dumb.
would be really weird. But yeah, I think that how much? What's his contract at Kemba's? Do you know?
It's $30 million.
$30 million. Yeah, they're paying him $30 million. Like, start.
Start.
Like just start.
Even if you're trash some nights,
yeah,
start.
like, I pay you $30 million. Start.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I don't know. I guess I'm just a person who cares about more scheme and just like how to win over money, contracts, and bullshit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I mean that's like the league.
That's part of-
You know?
that's part of the
Exactly,
NBA,
it's
so
the
you gotta-
league,
you gotta deal
It's
with it.
unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean if you had any closing arguments about the Nets, anything you want to talk about with the Nets wise this season
I'm
before
just
we move on?
really excited for the playoffs.
I agree.
I'm really excited for the playoffs.
I want to see what happens because I think the Celtics are making it to the second, or not, they're not making it past the second round with all these teams. So I'm gonna.
It's the East is looking
Scary.
pretty dangerous.
Why
this
is
year,
my
especially
question is why the Hawks above it? Like how are the Hawks doing this good? That's my question.
especially like how long has Trae Young been out for? He's been out
Oh
for
my
like a couple
god,
weeks,
yeah, he's
right?
been out. Yeah, he's been out.
Yeah, and they've been playing pretty well. But
That's my
but
who's
the team
who's stepping. I gotta hold on. I gotta find the
Yeah,
find the Hawks. Who is
but
stepping up for them?
the team that I think is going to be one of like the biggest upsetters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be the Knicks because they are at the 4 seed right now, so like it wouldn't be like an upset. But like Julius Randle has kind of put this team on his back at this point,
Yep.
and he's carrying them right
Oh,
now.
did
to
you
an over
hold on.
500 record?
I saw this video on one of my NBA YouTubers, but did you see about the Stephen A. Take that he did about like if the Nets what is it? It's if what the hell was it? So if the Knicks make it to the playoffs and win a playoff series, and then the Nets don't win a chip, it's just an indictment on KD and Kyrie not joining the Knicks and winning with them and not you know
Yeah.
because like how well they're playing. Like it's also
But I don't think.
That's the
See,
thing.
my only problem with like because I know that KD joining the Knicks was possibly a thing.
yeah. He's like that. Stephen A. was like, I'm gonna clean his locker at the Garden. I'm gonna be his personal Uber driver type of deal. I was like, what?
I love Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I know that was in talks, but like I'm honestly it's like difficult to like kind of explain.
'Cause
this,
you're a
but,
Nets
like,
fan.
So as a Nets fan, obviously it's nice to see them, like pull up, in Brooklyn and do what they're doing. But also, I think that if KD and Kyrie were on the Knicks, Julius Randle would not be having the season that he's currently having.
Yeah.
And I love Julius Randle. I think he's dope. I think this season he's doing amazing things. I love watching him. He's like probably one of my favorite players in the league right now. So I'm happy that it worked out the way that it did because I think that it gave him the opportunity that he needed, and clearly he took it and ran with it.
Yeah. I mean, James, what are your thoughts on that Stephen A. thing, real quick, if you want to speak a little loudly?
What was it?
So it was Stephen A. was basically saying that the Knicks making the playoffs and winning is more not impactful, but more of like a bigger headline / like more of an indictment to KD and Kyrie not joining the Knicks, because if the Knicks don't win a chip with the super team, it's kind of like why was this a thing when you could have been with the Knicks and done better potentially. Whatever. I don't know. It was a weird thing, Stephen. I couldn't exactly I don't have the exact quote, but, that's kind of the gist of what he was saying.
See, I think that's bullshit, because, like, realistically, like kind of like what Reed was saying, like, Julius Randle has been going off. Like, he's been an absolute monster this season.
Yep.
And the fact that I think that it gives them more credibility with the fact that they were able to kind of scrub up a team of like young guys and people who
one big dude to lead
one big veteran who could possibly lead the team, and they had no idea going into it, and they've gotten a decent amount of success out of it, and I think that it's a future young team that could be dangerous later on in the NBA.
Like the Pelicans?
Yeah, almost. I would say that the Pelicans would be a good example for the Knicks right now, because like they don't have a lot of talent, but they have enough talent to where they can do something with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the Knicks are at, and they're kind of at this limbo state of not really knowing where, what to do and where to go from it. But if they make the playoffs, that's great. I'm not a fan of the Knicks personally.
Me neither.
Yeah, but I mean, good for them. I'm glad that they were able to actually get something going without having to bring in like 3 different stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm liking what the Knicks are doing this season. Because as a Brooklyn fan, I don't like the Knicks, but I still like what they're doing.
Oh, that's another thing about young talent and everything. Just because of Julius Randle popping off, Obi Toppin's been resorted to like 10 minutes a night. And they're like that was their number 10 pick or whatever, like top 15 pick. That was gonna be like this superstar young player like Zion, well, like out of Dayton. Like, cause we saw how Obi Toppin was from Dayton, because we are in the A10 we're George Mason students. Mm-hmm. We saw how dominant Obi Toppin was, and like we were gonna think, my thought was like, oh my god, Obi Toppin might be like a really good like Zion type player coming out of college, and now he's just a 10-minute a night person on the bench. Like it's kind of sad to see. Because Julius Randle's had a season, and they would put him in the starting lineup, but Obi Toppin can't shoot threes, so he can't spread the floor with Julius Randle, so it would just be a nightmare on defense. Yeah. So that's my little reason. That's the reason why they don't do it, but like it's still sad to see that.
Yeah, it definitely sucks, because like I remember at least one of the games I think we went to.
The Dayton game?
Yeah, I think we went to at least one of the Dayton games. Yeah, we were watching Obi Toppin, we were like, what the hell? Like, this dude's like a cheat code.
Oh, yeah, that was the game when Dayton came to George Mason, right? Yeah, you saw it live, like it wasn't on TV.
Yeah, we were like at Eagle Bank, with a packed stadium. We always saw it. But, I remember watching him, and we were like, sheesh, like this dude's about to go off in the league. Now, like you said, he's 10 minutes a night. Kind of sucks.
Yeah. And that also brings up, we may potentially start up a George Mason part of the podcast, because we go here, and if we go to enough games together, we might be able to talk about them a lot better.
Yeah, and we have that new coach for
our
next season.
I think Kim English?
Kevin? I don't know his first name, but I think his last name is English.
English, yeah, Kevin English probably, yeah. He came out he was an assistant out of Tennessee, and Tennessee's are usually a really good SEC basketball program, so we'll see what they do and how they do in recruiting-wise, because recruiting is everything in college sports. So, and of course, you know me, I'm a big college sport, at least football-wise, and I understand most stuff transfers over to basketball, like, recruiting, like developing talent. So we'll see how he does here. We haven't made the final, but the play, whatever. What?
I can't.
Do your research on George Mason, because it's a weird thing that they love to preach. Yeah,
it's not that interesting.
Minus our Final Four appearance in like 2006, but like that's it.
Yeah,
so
the one time, which like our school milks that so hard.
Like, but then you realize look at recent history.
So hard. But like no, it's just everywhere. Like everywhere you go on campus, like I swear to God, near the basketball stadium, you will hear something about the fact that we made it to the Final Four in 2006. Yeah. And we're like, what's happened since then? And then they're like, oh,
what's gonna happen next? Okay.
Yeah,
nothing.
Literally nothing happened.
So yeah, that's all the Mason tangent, but we definitely could start it.
I think we should. I think it would be good.
If we watch it up, and we weren't even that bad. We were 4th or 3rd in the A10. So like, minus to like what VCU who made the tourney.
Yeah.
And
but
I
then
think
they got Rona.
They got Rona and they had to forfeit.
They had to forfeit.
Which is hilarious because I work sports broadcasting for Mason, and like all the soccer team got COVIDed, and their lacrosse team got COVIDed as well.
Oh, VCU's.
VCU's COVID,
so,
yeah,
okay,
soccer
so
and
they just
suck at COVID.
Suck at being safe. Yeah.
So yeah, that's just our little thing about George Mason. But let's move on to the Thunder Celtics game. First thing, injuries up the butt for both teams. Because Shea was injured for the Thunder, and 5 other players who don't really matter too much for the Thunder, and then of course Tatum, Kemba, and Robert Williams were out for the Thunder. So it kind of sucks seeing everyone injured. But this is also a good. We were talking about this earlier, but this is also a good game to look at for like how can these young guys step up? How can these young guys play in like a pseudo tough situation with the Thunder, who aren't that bad of a team. They're lower middle of the pack team. They're not like the Timberwolves. So they're better than that.
Yeah, this is like a matchup where like you don't see. Pretty much the only person that stands out
is Jaylen Brown
on our side. I was just about to say Jaylen Brown. Everyone else, I mean Marcus Smart as well, but pretty much everyone else is you would not consider a star.
Exactly.
So I think this was like a really great game for the young guys and like the rotational core to kind of just get out there and see what they can do.
When they still lost, so I mean, what are we gonna do about it? Type of deal.
Well, I mean, you lost because you take a look at how some of these guys did. I mean, Evan Fournier with 11 points. He was 4 for 14. He's
2 for 9. I think
2 for 9 from 3. Marcus Smart 1 for 10 from 3. Like when Jason Tatum's not here, these guys need to step up. And I think Evan Fournier, one of the biggest, because like he's supposed to.
Jaylen Brown stepped up. You looking at the top of the screen.
Look at him.
But he can't carry the team, because that also brings me to the next question. Actually, do you have any more comments about the young guys? Because I was going to bring up a question about Jaylen Brown. Can Brown lead this team without Tatum, Kemba, etc.? Do you think he could lead this team? This is only a 1-game sample size, so let's put that out there.
Yeah.
Off this 1-game sample size, does it look any good for Brown to lead this team?
We've seen it before when he's the only one. He had a great night.
Yeah.
This night, he had a double-double, 39 points, 50% from the field. He had a great night. But we've seen it before when he comes in without his sidekick, and they still lose. He has a great night.
Technically, he's the sidekick, but
no, I mean, whoever the side I get, it's more of a partnership.
Yeah.
Sidekick is not a good choice of words, but you get what I mean.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. They just I don't know why, but like just something about Jaylen Brown, he's just having a really hard time leading the team to a win.
That's my thing. Is like I see him as like a Chris Middleton type to like a Giannis.
Yeah, and I think that he definitely is like that with Jason Tatum. Or I think.
But Tatum's not as good as Giannis. I wish Tatum was more impactful like Giannis, but he's good for what he is, man. I mean, if he played to his strengths better, he would be way better. But that's kind of like the last thing I had on the Thunder game. I mean, Darius Bazley and Lou Dort did really well, and it was good to see from some guys you never really think about too much. And we have our friend Rusty, who is a Thunder fan. He's probably really happy to see that.
He was very happy. But you know what I was pissed about?
I forgot to take Lou Dort off of my injury list.
Oh, my God. And he did that.
He had like a great night. Yeah,
yep.
He got like
40 points or 40 fantasy points or something.
So that was just sitting on my bench.
I'm officially done for fantasy, so...
Don't we have the consolation?
I have consolation games, but
because I have a consolation.
They don't count. I got bounced first. I was the 1 seed. I got bounced because De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, and Tobias Harris were all injured throughout the week.
I don't even want to hear it, dude. Are you kidding me?
And I showed James my whole lineup. It was just
red
across the board.
I had 3 game time decisions too. I was just like, bro.
Yeah,
some of them were healthy, some of them weren't. I was just like, why?
Last week, it seems like for everyone, all the teams were dealing with hella injuries.
And it's weird because think about it. So this is not just fantasy, but think about it. All these teams are dealing with injuries before the playoffs, and you don't want to have these teams or these guys coming in raw or coming to recovery off injury coming into the playoffs. That would suck for a lot of teams to deal with.
That's why I'm kind of scared about what's going to happen with the Nets, because we have this big 3.
Yeah.
But they haven't played together at all. I think they have 4 games under their belt when all 3 of them played.
Same with the Celtics, seeing Tatum get injured now recently. Robert Williams has been on and off, and Kemba's been on and off. Brown's on and off too. And we saw the big 3 play together on the 6-game winning streak, but then you realize now injuries are coming in. Like, are we ever going to see that big three shine again?
Yeah, and
Kemba,
you
Brown,
don't know
and
like
Tatum?
how long these guys can stay healthy for, if they can even stay healthy throughout a playoff series.
Our
as well.
big threes are clearly having a big problem. Have a lot
They're
of
having
problems.
the big three's having a big problem.
That's right.
So yeah, that's kind of the
Sucks,
thing. I'm
man.
just like, injuries are a big problem for a lot of teams, but like especially for like teams that have like big threes like us, or if you call it a big three for the Celtics, but I think that's our three best players kind of deal.
Yeah,
So-
of course. It definitely sucks, dude. Yeah, especially since like even assuming that the Nets can stay healthy, they're gonna come in and like I don't know how they're gonna work together because like again we've
We've never seen them. You barely seen them work together. So
Exactly, and I can't even remember the last time I saw all three of them on the court
see,
at the same time, let alone be in the same game together.
Yeah, and see, I have hope because I saw how Brown, Tatum, and Kemba could play together simultaneously, and they played well together. So hopefully that magic transfers to the playoffs.
Hopefully,
So we'll see.
I mean, I hope you guys do something because if you guys like
If you get bounced
completely
first round,
shit,
I
like,
am gonna go cry in my bed for the next week
Even
because
I would be upset. Like I want to see.
For how good we
the
are.
Celtics do a decent job because like you guys are.
I mean we've been
good-
bounced the second round for how many years? Minus the scary Terry year when Kyrie got injured and we went to the Eastern Conference Championship and lost 7 games to LeBron, which is like I think at the peak of Brad Stevens.
We also made Eastern
Yes.
Conference Finals last year as well.
Who did?
The Celtics.
No, they didn't. Oh, they did, but
yeah, they did.
But we lost in 6, right? We lost in 6. Oh my god.
No, that was a.
Was
I don't
that-
remember actually. I know the
I don't remember either.
I know the Celtics Raptors series went 7. I honestly
Yeah.
don't remember.
Celtics Raptors. Yep. Yeah. So whatever.
But, yeah, dude.
I
I hope that you guys do something good because like I actually do like watching Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum play.
They're fun.
I think they're good players and they're fun to watch. Yeah.
I hate watching the Nets because it's just a super team. Just watching too many good players. I was like, what,
Yeah,
what am I supposed to be looking at here?
Exactly.
Like,
You're
it's the
just
same
like-
old
you're
same
just
old
watching,
stuff.
You're watching 2K with like the sliders.
Yeah, I'm
turning all
watching.
the
Yeah,
way
it's
up,
slide,
you know?
we're watching 2K against
Yeah,
rookie,
you're
on
like,
rookie
what's-
mode, bro.
Yeah, you're like, what's like? How do you like? Can you miss? Please?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like-
That's exactly how I every time I watch a Nets game. But
yeah, sometimes, man. But
so yeah, the next thing I
I
had.
wish that they would actually like play though.
Yeah, play, not load management, not injuries. You know, is KD on load management or that? What's the deal?
I mean, I don't know. There's like a lot of debate around whether or not he actually is as injured as they say he is.
he tore his Achilles again.
Yeah, like he totally is not as bad as they say he is, but
Yeah.
they're like hella scared. He's like because KD is like a glass cannon completely, man.
I mean, look at his leg,
Man,
bro.
look what
You
I know,
flick his
he's
legs, it
he's the
shatters.
Slim Reaper, yeah, he gets
Slim
knocked over.
Reaper.
He gets knocked over in a slight breeze. A slight breeze. Would
You
knock
said
him
Slim
over.
Reaper. That just got me. I love it.
That's what people call him apparently.
Is that wait?
But,
I gotta look at basketball.
Yeah, look at
reference.
basketball reference.
I
I
actually
swear
want-
Slim Reaper is on
I
there.
swear that'd be hilarious.
But yeah, like a light breeze knocks this dude over. He can put 30 points
Kevin
up
Durant.
like it's nothing, but he just doesn't freaking.
Oh
dude.
my god,
See, I'm
Durantula,
telling you,
Slim Reaper.
Okay, I like Durantula. I think Durantula's funny.
You got
as hell.
the spider legs all twiggy and
'Cause
stuff.
he is built like that.
He's built like a spider.
He's kind
or-
of built like a spider.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's hilarious.
He
I
really
didn't
is.
know about
He really
Durantula,
is.
but Slim Reaper is so funny.
I like
Oh,
Durantula
God.
as well.
Um,
That's funny.
I mean, that's it for the games. There's not much else, but I did have something to bring up. We picked up Jabari Parker like throughout that middle of that 6-game win streak, and we dropped Mo Wagner. I was so confused. But I mean,
I
after
wasn't confused about the Mo Wagner drop because
Yeah.
I kind of figured like when you guys picked him up, I was like questioning how long he could stay on the roster.
because we also have what's his name? What's his No, Luke Cornett. That's
Oh, yeah,
what it was.
Luke
We also have
Cornett.
another young center, Luke Cornett. So I was like, why do we have 2 young centers on the bench who are probably rotting away?
Exactly.
So I guess dropping one was good, and then Jabari Parker is a veteran who's been in the playoffs. You know, he has that experience, so maybe that's a good thing. I don't know what thought came through your head when you heard Jabari Parker's name being relevant again.
Yeah, well,
Like-
that was one of the main things. I was like, this dude's like back.
Yeah,
Like, guess
He's
who's,
been- he was
guess who's
on-
back?
I think either James or you told me that he was on the free agency market for like the whole season, and then he got
Probably
picked up
James.
now. Was it you, James, that told me that? I don't remember.
I don't remember
What?
telling him
That Jabari Parker was on the free agency market this
Yeah, I
whole
told you
season.
that.
Yeah, James told me he was on the free agency market this whole time, and no one was picking him up. I was like, that's a decent bench center, and we picked him up, of course. So he's been playing all right for what it is, but like I didn't realize Jabari Parker was like that. I thought he was on like a bench unit somewhere, like a Milwaukee or something like that, just like not doing anything. I'm just surprised. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts about Jabari Parker is.
Surprised as well. I don't know too much about him, but I mean, you just said he's a veteran guy, and I think right now, the Celtics need as much veteran leadership as they can get.
Yes.
Because when you go into the playoffs this year, a big player throughout the regular season, not a huge big player, but like he's been a solid piece, is Peyton Pritchard. And he has, he's a rookie, so he has 0 playoff experience. So I think that, just bringing in more veterans is a great idea.
Yeah, I mean that's what every contending team wants to do. So
exactly,
that's what I was looking for.
Experience is like so highly regarded.
I think people undervalue it sometimes too.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you have some guy who's like been in the playoffs and he just knows because the playoffs are just a different. It's just different.
That's why you see Kawhi and LeBron play really well in the playoffs and not play that well in the regular season, because that's where they shine. Like, it's a different breed. You need to be a different breed to do well in the playoffs. Like, for how much a lot of people.
LeBron and Kawhi played well in the regular season.
Kawhi load manages and LeBron load manages. They both load manage nowadays.
Yeah, so they definitely turn up. Like Rondo is literally a different.
The embodiment of playoff person.
A different player. It's crazy seeing him. But so like the playoffs are just like a different animal. So I think that bringing in these veteran guys who at least have just been there, just to like have the experience. Great idea, I think. Yeah.
And by the way, I'm just gonna say this right now. Jabari Parker's averaging more points and everything over Romeo Langford to tie back with the Romeo Langford thing. We gave Romeo Langford 25 minutes. And we're giving Jabari Parker like 15. He's scoring more in less time. I had the ball spell reference up. If you need, I don't know what your thoughts on that was.
I mean, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's the thing that also ticks me off. So like, I was like, why?
That's pretty insane. I think that just goes to show that like, you don't need like hella time.
Yeah.
To
be impactful or just do what you need to do.
Exactly. Yeah, you can. Oh, who was it? I'm trying to remember. Like there was, damn, I really can't remember.
You can think of any team.
No, but there was like a very specific instance that I thought I had in my head of someone doing really crazy shit in like a couple minutes. But yeah, I know like Peyton.
What, like Damian Lillard in the last 2 minutes of every game?
No, I'm talking about like they played like 10 minutes throughout the game. Like, they did some crazy shit.
I was like, Damian Lillard in the last 2 minutes is deadly, bro. You can't.
Definitely.
Dame Dollar in the last 2 minutes, clutch Dame.
Dame Dollar in the clutch time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Peyton Pritchard usually doesn't play a crazy amount of minutes, and he can usually produce like decently.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, you don't need a lot of time.
Exactly. That's what a lot of the bench guys don't understand sometimes, especially the young guys. Like you need to do and just develop.
Mm-hmm. But then I also think to that point is like on the flip side of it, sometimes like you do kind of need minutes to like settle in.
Yeah,
you know I
feel like that's what practice is for, to get you building up for that, and then you get more minutes.
But like some players just for some reason, like I mean it's not like for some reason, but like some players just like they need time to just like settle into the game,
being on the court.
Yeah, exactly, being on the court and like getting used to it, because you also gotta like feel out your opponent a little bit, because like practice, I mean you practice with these boys every day, like you know exactly what they're gonna do, but this team that you're going against you don't know, so it might take a little bit of time.
Yeah. So funny enough, did you have anything? I mean, for 1 minute hot take, my one thing I could really think about was like how dominant the Hawks have been without Trae Young, and I couldn't really think of anything. I mean, because like I've been following, there's not really been any big headlines. I could be tripping because like
I haven't seen much, but something that I wanted to bring up that I saw today was something that Stephen A. Smith said about Westbrook. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, that's another thing. That's also the guy I was talking about with the Knicks and Nets thing. Mm-hmm. Also, he also brought up the Westbrook comments, and he brought up one other comment. Oh, he's bringing about Andrew Wiggins being like basically you should trade him for a bag of chips, which he's not. Wiggins is way better than a bag of chips, but that's like
he's like a family-sized bag of chips.
He is a Lay's factory type of guy, like on defense at least, and also if you look at his stats, he's been playing really well for the.
No, he has been. I think
the Warriors.
A lot of people also do crap on Andrew Wiggins
for just being a bust.
Because he was a number one pick. You expect your number one pick to produce more. Like I think if he was like a fifth pick, I think people would be completely fine with how he's playing right now.
Hey, he's averaging 18 points and 4 rebounds, 3 assists. blocking a steal a game, which is good.
Not bad.
What's his defense? Okay, I'm actually one thing I want to look up because like my person I watched was also preaching his defense, so I'm gonna look at his defensive win shares. It's up to a 2.2, which is really high, because last year was like at a 0.3. So basically, he was like a non-factor on defense.
Yeah, seriously.
So now he's at 2.2. That's a big jump for a guy to make.
Yeah, man. He's good. I mean, I have him on my fantasy roster. It's just
Can he
like
get you fantasy points?
no, he doesn't.
Oh,
no,
really?
He doesn't.
Maybe
No,
he's
he
not a
doesn't.
fantasy guy. Maybe he's more of a defensive guy. Like
No,
more of a smart type.
he's definitely not a fantasy guy. But I mean, like kind of. So he goes off some nights. He's inconsistent. But
like the Warriors this season.
yeah, exactly.
They get blown out by 60 points, and they win by 60 points. Wait, what was the game that we were talking about earlier with the Warriors? That they were like, it was like 2 days ago that they were either they won by like 40 or some crap.
Oh no, we were talking about. Wait, I think I know what you're mentioning. But then we realized that we were tripping, and we were thinking about a game that happened a long time ago. I think.
Which is the Nuggets outscoring the Warriors like 60 points or something like that.
It was the Raptors.
Raptors
versus
and
the
Warriors. Yeah, Raptors
and
versus
Kyle,
Warriors.
or no, it wasn't Kyle Larry. Crap, who was it? I think it might have been Gary Trent. Who
Yeah.
had
A monster, like a 60-point night or something like that. I think
yeah,
that's
he had a crazy points, but his plus minus, he like set the new Raptors record for plus minus.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
It was like plus 52 or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Oh god.
That was crazy. That was like weeks ago though.
Yeah, I was also because I
Yeah.
remember one game that like the Warriors blew out some team, and I was just like, it just came like to bite back. Like they
Yeah,
lost
you
by
never
60.
know
Now they
with
won
them.
by like 40 or something like that.
You never know with them.
Anyway, so you want to bring up the Westbrook? We got sidetracked. Well, you want to bring up the Westbrook comments?
Oh yeah. I want to bring up the Westbrook comments because I think what Stephen A. Smith said was no one like he doesn't think that Westbrook is a stat padder, but he will
What?
say that because some people have been like clowning on Westbrook saying he's a stat padder.
Yeah.
But so I think Stephen A. Smith said he's not a stat padder. He doesn't believe he is, but that people are denying his greatness to a degree because
Because he didn't win a chip.
Exactly, because he didn't win a chip. And he hasn't, and it's questionable whether or not he is going to win a chip.
I agree with the last thing you said. Like, it's questionable if he's ever going to win a chip because I don't think he's ever going to get traded to a team because like most teams that are like trying to compete don't need his play style. His play style is actually a hindrance to most systems that are trying to compete for a championship.
Because he just takes so much of the offensive load.
Load
you know?
and also just like is like you run the offense through him or he is like a non-factor. Like he can't stand out on the wing and like take threes every so often.
Yeah, he's not the best off-ball guy.
Yeah,
So,
like
yeah,
Harden. Like Harden.
Yeah, exactly.
Harden just sits there in the corner like waiting for the ball. You know, just.
But I mean, hey, he stepped into the playmaking role.
I do like that.
Perfectly. But who are we talking? Westbrook, right?
Yeah, Westbrook.
Yeah, like I think that I don't know. I mean, I do think that Westbrook is great, but I mean, I have to agree with Stephen A. Smith to a degree because it's like
You said he's not a stat
it's
padder.
hard.
I thought he was.
No,
a stat padder.
I don't think he's a stat padder because it's obvious
Okay.
that when he gets triple doubles, they do win.
Okay.
You know, so I don't think he's a stat padder at all. But I definitely think that it's questionable, you know, how like where he ranks on like all-time lists and stuff like
Yeah.
that, because of his lack of like winning, you know.
Yeah, I don't know where I rank him all time because again it's weird because like
It's
I have people in my top 50 that never won championships. Well, I would have to pull it up. I've never actually officially ranked. I just list people off, like Charles Barkley type who never won a championship, but like he's really good. And I would put him in my
John
top 50.
Stockton, Karl Malone.
John Stockton. Does Steve Nash won a chip?
Nash did not win a chip.
Yeah, so Nash was another person I had in mind. Who else do I have? Did I have anyone else in mind that was like really apparent? Kim won one. Oh crap, I can't think of any.
I can't think of any.
Yao won championships. I'm pretty sure. Who?
Yao didn't win a championship.
Yeah, there you go. Yao. That's
Yao Ming.
Yeah.
I know Chris Paul's like still playing, but like he hasn't won a ring yet.
Yeah, there you go.
He's
That's-
definitely up there on the all-time list of
I
people
would
who
agree.
haven't won a ring.
again. Maybe I would have to do like a whole full video about like top 50 players.
That's
all
a tough
time
one because like dude.
And also, I didn't grow up. I
50
didn't grow up in like the older like times, older like generations of basketball. So I can't really speak on them as well as like some,
Yeah,
like
same.
a Stephen A. can.
Yeah,
or
we can only like watch highlights and stuff. Really.
Yeah.
You know, like it's tough to see.
There you go, and like maybe watch The Last Dance to see like how impactful Scotty was. That we never actually got screwed over by the Bulls, and we never knew that until now.
A little bit.
So yeah, that's like kind of how it is. I mean, Stephen A. has some weird takes the past couple weeks. Like the Nets, we talked about the Nets. Knicks won, And then we talked about the Westbrook, and I said the Wiggins thing, like he traded for a bag of chips. Like what? I was like,
Yeah,
what?
like no, definitely.
Stephen
not,
A. has
definitely
had
not a
three.
bag of chips, but-
You never see. Okay, the thing about Stephen A. I want actually let's go on a little rant about Stephen A.
Yeah.
I like him, but
I
like
love Stephen A. Smith.
he always takes the majority side that will never get critiqued, or like it will never like the take will never fail because like that's what everyone thinks and it's most likely gonna happen. These last 3 takes have been really bad, and like I don't think anyone has said that.
I was like, like these last couple weeks
Are not Stephen A. takes. They're like Max Kellerman takes.
Yeah, he's been like off the walls almost.
And Max Kellerman is usually with the off the wall
so
takes,
than
which I like some of them, but some of them are just off the wall.
Yeah,
Actually off the
seriously.
wall. So like,
Seriously. No, but I like their dynamic together because like whenever Max like says some dumb shit, like Stephen A. Smith is like, "What are you talking
and
about?"
that's Kellerman called him out on that dumb shit in the last 3 takes that that he made.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so we're talking the Westbrook take,
The Wiggins bag of chips take, and then the Knicks Nets, the Knicks and the Nets, but like them being like saying that the Nets, the Katie and Kyrie are basically not basically failures, but they like they didn't live up to the hype, and also the Knicks are more of a significant, like the wins are more significant for the Knicks than they are the Nets.
Yeah,
winning
so
a chip over
that
the playoff.
part, I definitely agree with the fact that the Nets are championship or bust.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
If we don't win, then yeah, I'd agree.
It's kind
with
of a
that.
failure.
But, it's a complete failure for sure.
And the
But
Knicks,
if the Knicks win, then like I don't know if
not
I
the
would,
Knicks
like,
win the
say
chip.
that
I'm talking
that's,
about like the
important.
Knicks.
Or if the, yeah,
You're comparing
no,
the Knicks winning a playoff
one
versus
series, yeah.
winning
One playoff series.
winning just the first round versus the Nets winning it all.
No, yeah, that definitely I don't agree with, but for sure the Nets are championship or bust right now.
Yeah,
No
and if
doubt.
the Knicks,
No doubt.
what are they at? So they're at 4.
at
So
4
they would
right now.
play either the Hawks or they would just play the Hawks. Never mind, they're not with the play-in guys. So they're playing the 5th seed.
Yeah.
Hawks versus Knicks. Ooh, that would be a good game.
Yeah.
Quickly versus Young, and you see Randall versus Collins. Oh, that'd be a fun game.
I could definitely see.
I could get down for that.
Is Capella still in the Hawks?
Yes, Capella's still in the Hawks.
Yeah, so he's leading the league in rebounds right now, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. Where is it?
Again, this is like I haven't looked.
Right here. He's almost got 15 boards a game, 14.7.
I have not looked at the standings in a while, so I do not know what is going on with that. And also, I didn't realize the Celtics were a 6th seed till now because I thought they were like a constant 5. Then somehow we lost our last 3 games and the Hawks jumped up. Because if you look at the last 3 games, we lost the Nets, the Hornets, and then the Thunder, and then now we lost our 5th seed. Mm-hmm. And again, we're trying to fight for home court advantage, and this is not helping.
Yeah.
So,
did we? I don't know if we talked about this last time, but did we mention?
it's been a minute, so
about facts. About like home court advantage and whether or not like it actually matters this year.
Yes, we did talk about home court, especially with the
That does
Celtics
sound
trying to
familiar.
fight for this home court because it. We talked about it a little bit. I think our gist was like it didn't really matter because it's low capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah,
take
but
it
then
for what
I
it
think
is.
like at the same time it's like just nice to like see your
Have
own,
fans.
Yeah, it will also just like see your own logo, and like you're playing in like your house.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, it's not technically home court because you technically go to it's a 2-2, and then the home court really does only matter at Game 7.
Yeah.
You just gotta win. You gotta know how to win on the road. That's really the gist of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's really it. I mean, I didn't really have any. Again, I did not have a 1-minute hot take plan. We just talked about We just crapped on Stephen A. for a little bit for the 3 crappy takes.
No, I don't crap on it. I still love that guy.
I
love
preface
Stephen
this that I love him, but like these 3 takes were really bad, so like I had to like say something about it.
They were pretty off the wall, no doubt.
Yeah, so like I mean that was it. I mean I don't know. Have you any comments for like the Nets or anything? Any Celtics wise Nets?
Not really. I am excited for this play-in tournament though.
The play-in tournament, which we will cover in future ones because we'll cover it closer to the playoffs,
Yeah,
or
I
when
think
the play-in tournaments happen,
It
and we'll give
starts-
probably our predictions when
It
it's the
starts
start.
on Tuesday, May 18th, and concludes Friday, May 21st.
So
when it gets a little bit
probably in
closer,
about
we'll talk about it.
3 weeks we'll talk about the play-in tournament because I think it'll be fun to talk about like maybe a 10 seed making it. It'll be kind of
Yeah,
fun to
I
see.
think that would be awesome.
So currently the 10th seed. Do you have the standings?
No, I can pull
Click it.
these.
So
The
currently
current
the
standings.
so imagine the Wizards being in the playoffs with Westbrook and Beal and everything. How they're doing.
Yeah, and they would be playing the Pacers.
The thing, okay, the 10th seed is 27 and 34. Think about a team like that making the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be insane.
That is goofy.
But also, I question whether or not, like, even if the Wizards do win their one play-in game, like, how far can they actually go in the playoffs?
They'll be swept. Imagine like a gentleman's sweep in the first round.
Yeah, like, seriously. Because, like, I don't...
One pity win for Westbrook.
Yeah, seriously.
So, I mean, we'll talk about that later. But that's really it for the Celtics side. I mean, there's nothing really else to talk about. So, please like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you made it this far, you got to subscribe. Congratulations. You went through the whole breakdown of like the past 3 weeks. So you have to subscribe now. And also, same with the Apple Podcast and on Spotify. Please subscribe. And if you have a Twitter, follow me on Twitter at SportsBitsPod. I got a lot of random tweets I post on there. Anything I'm thinking about on the day, I just tweet it out, see what happens. Get a lot of good reactions sometimes from some outlandish takes I throw out there sometimes.
Yeah, you throw some Stephen A. Smith takes.
Yeah, I throw out some Stephen A. Smith takes. So if you want to hear about those, follow me on Twitter. But yeah, that's the end of the podcast. We'll see you all next week because we're gonna keep this. We're trying to get the schedule back because this 3-week hiatus was kind of crap.
Yeah.
So I want to get the.
I missed it. I miss doing this.
I miss this too.
It's fun when we do it.
I know exactly. So we'll get back into it. Also, when I go back home, we'll probably have to transition back to Zoom. So that's a quick announcement. We'll probably have to transition back to Zoom.
Probably, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Yeah, we'll cross it. Next week, I think was our last in person. So, tune in next week for the last in person one. James will be in it because I know he'll be free. So, get our last big bang of the semester before we all go home.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we'll see you all. Peace.
Peace.